So, 33% of all companies globally do not have any females in senior management. Only 24% of senior positions are held by women. Out of all the continents, Europe has the highest rate of females on executive boards, while Asia and Latin America have the lowest rates. The highest rate of females on executive boards, 46% in Norway. In 2016, there were still only 7 female bosses on the FTSE 100 companies list. These are the industries with the most females on executive boards. Not even the top industry, consumer staples, has only 17% of female bosses. Some studies say that gender diversity can have a positive impact on companies' decision making. And these are the results. Increased emotional intelligence, more dynamic workplace, new growth opportunities. However, globally, no country has achieved gender equality on their boards so far.
Je sais bien, je m'étais juré que je ne raconterai pas, jamais, que je garderai pour moi ce qui n'appartient qu'à moi. Mais je ne m'appartiens plus tout à fait. Ma petite histoire privée est devenue publique. Alors je suis Najat Vallo Belkacem, née le 4 octobre 1977 à Beni Chikr, un petit village au nord du Maroc. Je suis une femme politique française d'une double nationalité franco-marocaine. En fait, je suis la deuxième d'une famille de 7 enfants. Et à l'âge de 4 ans, j'ai grandi dans un village du Rif marocain où je gardais des chèvres avec mon grand-père. Même, je partais chercher de l'eau au puits chaque matin. D'ailleurs, mon enfance a été difficile. En 1982, nous rejoignions mon père qui était un ouvrier immigré en France. Ensuite, j'ai eu mon baccalauréat économique et social et après 3 ans, j'ai obtenu ma licence en droit à l'université de Picardie à Amiens. J'ai réussi le concours d'entrée de sciences politiques. En fait, c'est à la bibliothèque de sciences que j'ai rencontré mon mari. Et en 2008, nous avons 2 jumeaux, Louis et Nour. J'ai commencé ma vie professionnelle en étant juriste dans un cabinet parisien d'avocats pendant 3 ans. Puis j'étais la porte-parole de Ségolène Royal pour l'élection présidentielle de 2007, puis de François Hollande pour l'élection présidentielle de 2012. De 2008 à 2013, conseillère municipale de Lyon, adjointe aux grands événements, à la jeunesse et à l'associative. J'étais la ministre des droits des femmes de 2012 à 2014 et depuis août 2014 à mai 2017, j'étais la première femme à occuper le poste de ministre de l'Éducation nationale, de l'enseignement supérieur et de la recherche.
Moving on to an American example of successful women. America's first lady of talk shows, Oprah Winfrey, is well known for surpassing her competition to become the most watched daytime show on television. Her natural style with guests and audiences on the Oprah Winfrey Show earned her widespread popularity, as well as her own production company, Arpo Inc. Oprah Winfrey was born on an isolated farm in Kosciuszko, Mississippi in 1954. Winfrey's unmarried parents separated soon after she was born and left her in the care of her maternal grandmother on the farm. As a child, play acting in front of an audience of farm animals. At 6 years old, she was sent north to join her mother and 2 half-brothers in an extremely poor and dangerous neighborhood. At 12 years old, she was sent to live with her father in Nashville, Tennessee. feeling secure and happy for a brief period, she began making speeches at social gatherings and churches, and one time earned $500 for a speech. She knew that she was wanted to be paid to talk. Oprah became an excellent student, participating as well in the drama club, debate club, and in a club speaking contest. She won a full scholarship. The following year, she was invited to a White House conference on youth. Winfrey was crowned Miss Fire Prevention by a local radio station and was hired by the station to read afternoon newscasts. Oprah Winfrey formed her own production company, Arpo ENC, in August 1986 to produce the topics that she wanted to see produced.
And now, let's move on to a Moroccan example of successful women. Let's know more about Asma Boujibar, her academic and professional career and achievements. By the way, she invited me into her house. Let's go. You are known as the first Moroccan woman who joins the NASA. How do you feel?
قد أكون أول امرأة مغربية لكن لست أول امرأة عربية. توجد سيدة مصرية تعمل بالوكالة. بالنسبة إلي يمثل ولوجي للنازا رمزا لروح تنافس لدى النساء ونضالهن في ظل الظروف السياسية والاقتصادية الصعبة. وطبعا أنا سعيدة بهذا الإنجاز.
And now, tell us about your academic and professional career before you joined the NASA.
بعد حصولي على شهادة البكالوريا في شعبة العلوم من ثانوية ليوتا بالدار البيضاء، توجهت إلى غال لأتابع دراستي الجامعية، وهناك حصلت على الإجازة في علوم الأرض. ثم تابعت دراستي لأحصل على شهادة الماستر الأولى في علوم البراكين، وواصلت البحث والدراسة حيث حصلت على شهادة الماستر الثانية من جامعة كليرمون-فيرون، وحاليا أستعد لتقديم أطروحتي في الدكتوراه.
So, did you look for a job in Morocco before applying for the NASA?
للأسف مختبرات البحوث المختصة في مجال دراستي وبحثي قليلة على الصعيد العالمي، لذلك لم أتقدم سوى بطلبات قليلة لهذا العدد الضئيل من المختبرات المختصة في بحوث وتجارب ارتفاع الضغط وارتفاع درجة الحرارة وعلوم الكواكب.
So, have you ever dreamed of joining the NASA?
في الحقيقة لا، لم يكن هذا حلمي بشكل محدد، كما أنه لم يكن هدفا بالنسبة إلي. كل ما كنت أطمح إليه هو تلبية رغبة جامحة بإجراء بحوث ودراسات في مجال علوم الأرض والكون.
I'm Sherry Sanders, Chief Operating Officer of Facebook. Long before, I headed one of the biggest social media in the world and began leading Together Foundation to promote work equality. I came from a humble beginnings in a family that supported my education and my success. My father was an ophthalmologist while my mother taught French at a college. Well, I attended Harvard and graduated at the top of economics department. After I decided to join to teach industry in Silicon Valley around 2002. My first stop was Google, where I became a business general manager in 2001. As it grew, I was promoted to VP for global online sales and operations. After 7 years with Google, I started looking or other opportunities that eventually came in the form of Facebook. Since being there, I had helped Facebook grow on a global scale. I will answer to this question by one sentence and say that leadership for me is about making others better as a result of your presence and making sure that impact lasts in your absence. Well, every conversation about success has to start with acknowledging the many ways in which I am lucky. I know how fortunate I am to have been born in a country that respects the human rights of women and into a family that was able to provide me with a great education. I will say that hard work is key, because every person I know who achieved success, whether personally or professionally, work really hard. I would change our cultures which teach all of us, men and women, that men should achieve and women should support. Well, the truth is that all of us should achieve and all of us should support others. If there is one thing man can do to improve one's life at work, it will be to recognize the beat against female leadership, which is deeply ingrained in our culture. So deeply, it's about all of us to have it to some degree and take steps in their workplaces to root it out by hearing, promoting and monitoring and also supporting women.
Women are very different leaders. So women are said to be leaders they're more understanding. Women are said to be more rational, more long-term thinkers, more conscious kind of about the business environment. And I think that those types of characteristics are something that businesses nowadays are going to be looking for.
I want to contribute to the business world not only as a business leader but also as a woman in the workforce. I would really want to make a step and make a footprint in this direction as well.
I think for females actually it is a better place than other MBAs, because we know that by nature females are less competitive and more cooperative than males. And I think at YES what you'll face is less competitive atmosphere than in other schools and more cooperative.
I want to have a positive impact in Africa. I want to see women in Africa change. I want them to go to school. I want less disease. And I think the best way to do this is through entrepreneurship, through concepts that can actually be sustainable and give people an income instead of, say, aid or charity.
All notice that female leaders bring a lot to the table that without them we are missing, and we all miss out. The society at large misses out, companies miss out, organizations miss out.